Hello, welcome to the discussion of Butcher and Blackbird, which was our. Do you have that? Oh yeah, that's right. You do have a physical copy. You read it physically.
I do.
So we are going to be talking about Butcher and Blackbird today. We're going to start with non-spoilery thoughts, and then we will move into our more spoilery discussion. Excuse my shadow lights or my light boxes back here. I didn't want to take them down last night because I need to film more this weekend.
How will we function, Brianna?
They take so long to set up, and I'm just like, well, I have other stuff to film tomorrow, so I'm just going to leave.
Yeah, I don't think anyone cares.
They just look very annoying back there. Anyways, welcome. Hello, everybody. First off, what did you rate it?
I think it was 4 stars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot that was something that we talk about. I think it was 4 stars. I think I'm gonna pull I gave it a whole review too.
Nice. Look at you being a reader again.
I know. Emma was actually, she's like, have you gone to the library since we moved here? And I was like, Emma, I read 4 books. Like, no.
You'll read at least 10-ish this year.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, I gave it 4 stars, and my review is exactly 1 sentence. And it is, what does it say about me that I loved everything but the smut?
That is fair. That is fair. I gave this it looks like a high 3 score, a high 4 star. Excuse me.
Nice.
I can't speak today. Because I think it was really, really well written.
I agree with you. The actual writing was fantastic, and I think for something as like outlandish and silly as this could be, like, you don't expect the writing to be very good.
That's the thing. I think everybody goes into it just being like, this is bonkers, this is ridiculous. And I was kind of thinking of it being very much like an Amazon Prime or HBO Max type, like dramedy type thing. Like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Very much like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Like getting those vibes. Also the audiobook. Like that, like I think you get bonus points for the audiobook, which you didn't do it on audio. But
however, Emma and I did say that during hunt test season we would download it to listen while we're driving places together.
Nice. So. Yeah, no, I think this would be one that would be like a fun reread, especially because Emma liked it so much.
There is a lot of reread value, I think, too, like knowing what's going to happen, and there's going to be sequels. So I'm kind of enjoying this whole idea of like romances being like true trilogies rather than just companions. Yeah.
Because it allows you to not have to do everything in one book.
I agree. And I also think one of the failings of the romance genre in general is that it assumes that like the story is over when 2 people get together.
Correct.
Which is boring.
Yeah.
It's boring, right? And like you even find that in fan fiction, like people just won't read established relationship tags. They only want the get together, the immediate payoff, and then the story's over. Right. But I like the idea that you would get to follow these characters longer than that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like where there will kind of be an established character or established relationship in the background of the next book.
Yeah.
Like, as far as like there's a much bigger when you can do a series within a romance, you have this bigger macro plot that's not just the 2 people getting together.
Yeah,
like so there's this bigger story.
Yeah.
That more people are involved in.
I completely agree.
So, those were the initial thoughts. But yeah, if it is something that like if you listen to audiobooks, it's a really, really good one. Because it's very much like it's more like a radio drama where they like talk back and forth to each other. So like the male narrator talks to the female narrator.
It sounds like they put in so much production effort compared to just narrating it.
Yeah. Since it is Boozy Book Club, I have some red wine today. What is this? Like a red blend.
I have apple raspberry sangria from Girls Night Out.
That sounds delicious.
I was having a bad day the other day, and I was like, I'll go to the LCBO. What do you want? LCBO. I'm Canadian, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know. LCBO, Liquor Control Board of Ontario. But yeah,
we have a state liquor store.
Alex looks Girls Night Out. So that's what we have.
I love it. I love it. So we had a couple people here. Welcome. And it's on my TBR. Excited to read it. It's a fun time. Honestly, I don't think I've seen a lot of people that haven't liked this book.
Yeah, I think my coworker was more horrified by it than.
Oh yeah, I mean you have to know what you're getting into.
Yeah, but she didn't. I mean, she didn't. I don't think she's hating it though. Yeah, so
what?
Just like.
Is she reading it right now?
Yeah, she was 60% through last time we talked. So right before the smut. And I was like, oh, the smut won't help your enjoyment of it. But
yeah. I do appreciate that it was a slow burn.
Because
I feel like a lot of times I've read a lot of KU romance this month. I don't know what kind of that should tell you enough about my mental health right now. And it just seems like immediately they jump into bed. Yeah. And so I really appreciate that this one was such a slow burn.
I feel like a changed person, honestly, because I used to not deal with slow burn. I used to not at all. And then look at my fictional ship right now.
Right.
Okay. But you're right. I was thinking about that when I was reading it. I was like, this is such a well done slow burn, and this would not have been good if it was not a slow burn.
Well, and I think that that's what it is. And I think probably like in the past, like when you read bad slow burn, like it's terrible.
And it doesn't make sense.
Chalkboard.
Yeah, because it almost like I think unless you're doing it in a way that's like really thought out, it's almost like, well, why? Like, you're making the characters unlikable by having them dance around this so much.
Correct. And like you want in a book that's like a slow burn with so much, like you want the tension and the angst, and like you want it like that to be like palatable, and you can like literally like you just want to like smush them together.
And this did that so well by having the time and geography and the competition aspect like work.
I agree. But I wonder if that's why we didn't like the smut, because the smut was kind of like lackluster, because there was so much buildup and so much angst and so much tension that once they got together, you're like, cool, let's move on with the story.
Yeah, it was.
We needed better smut, and it would have been like fireworks.
Yes, I think if there was really good smut or really deranged smut, I think if the smut had been as crazy as the rest of the premise and not just like vanilla BDSM, I would have given it a 5-star.
Yeah, I agree. Because like everything else, like they are absolutely insane people, and then their sex is so normal
and so like uncomfortably gendered in a way, and I was just kind of like, for the rest of it not being like that, for her definitely being like the top of the relationship in every other way, and then him just I was like,
agreed. That's fair. Let's talk about like the competition aspect of it and the fact that there were like those time jumps, because I feel like that might be the thing that didn't necessarily like what people may not like about it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I liked it. It worked for me.
It took me a little bit to get used to, because I was listening to it solely on audio. I would have to I was like, wait.
Yeah.
I thought we were just doing this, but then you're like, no, that was last year.
And I think maybe one of the things the book doesn't do that a lot of books that play with time do is it doesn't label it. Like there's no like 2 years later or 3 months later. She'll just casually mention, and in the past 3 months, this is how it's happened or something. So you do have to be paying attention. Otherwise, I could see that it would be like jarring.
Yeah. But I could see how people would not like that aspect of it and like potentially call it lazy writing. But I think that if we filled in those gaps, we would have said it was overwritten.
Yeah, I agree. Because it
we really don't need to know every single moment of these characters' lives.
Completely agree. And I would say that like in terms of length and pacing, to me, I don't have any complaints.
I don't either. Because I think it had the pacing that one of those like fast popcorn thrillers have, which is kind of the vibe it's trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then like with a romance.
Yeah, and I think if we had spent like slow time with them in their personal lives, I would have been bored because I actually don't care about her life as a data analyst question mark or I mean his restaurant stuff is a bit more interesting, but still I don't care.
But I am excited to see how that, because that's kind of part of that macro plot of him like creating the restaurant at the end.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of a spoiler, but like I feel like there's gonna be like, I don't know if that's gonna end up being like base camp for like a future restaurant, like future books.
I can see that in a good way.
I'm just like, it's giving me the bar from How I Met Your Mother or the coffee shop from Friends.
Yes, I can see that. Okay, once my mom's calling me and it's playing on my speaker.
Oh no,
turning off my speaker.
But Mom, I'm busy.
Like, Mom, why aren't you tuned in to my Murder Smut Book live show? Mom, come on.
I think just like as a tangent side note is I think we came up with this whole idea of like Not Your Mom's Boozy Book Club because like moms like you have the Suburban Mom Book Club where they come up with the thrillers and they read the like domestic housewife thrillers, and this is just such a quintessential Not Your Mom's Boozy Book Club.
This really is. And I almost feel like this is kind of like the shit we should be reading for A, that reason, and B, the fact that it's just like TikTok popular.
It really is, yeah.
Like we didn't go like literary award magazine of the year popular, like no. Because that's what a lot of mom book clubs do too. Like they just
like, oh, this is Reese's book club. Like
we just pick. We're like, what's the most ridiculous thing right now?
It sounds absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, and that's the direction we went with. So I think this is a very on-brand choice for us.
It really was.
One of the ones we've enjoyed the most.
Yeah, definitely recently.
Top 2 or 3 of our picks.
Yeah.
Not top 1. It's not Small Miracles.
It's not Small Miracles. It's not Alexandra Bellefleur. But it's up there.
It's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, yeah. So.
But funnily enough, like that, other than, because like the Riley Sager one is also one that was like, it's like a typical thriller. And we also really like that one. So maybe we should just read thriller adjacent books.
I like that.
Not thrillers. Thriller adjacent books.
The rom-coms mostly don't go well for us.
No, but we are going to try Alexandra Bellefleur again.
We are. Yeah, well, she went well for us.
Yeah.
She was okay. We can trust her.
Not so much.
Listen, we know she has good taste.
It's true. It's true.
I'm actually just like, who was I telling about her liking my stuff? Somebody, but we were talking about how like if she does do the firefighter romance, because she the author Alexandra Bellefleur liked my 911 tweets, which is just like a procedural firefighter show. I say just like it's not my entire brain, but anyways, and she was saying how she might like write a firefighter novel, and I would just want I'm like the butch firefighter lesbian.
We were talking about it last weekend.
Where was it? Us?
Yeah, it was on Friends last weekend.
Okay, I think Emma and I also had this conversation as well, but like.
Because we were like, we want the hen romance.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I've had this conversation probably with 4 different people now because I'm just like so. So,
I mean, a trad pub author like retweeted you
and keeps liking my tweets.
And followed you.
She followed me and keeps liking my 911 shitpost tweets. So like,
you're like, wait, I have to think about my tweets now.
Not even.
Hello, Michaela. Finished this book last night. Enjoyed it. Gave it 4 stars. Looking forward to the sequel. I am also looking forward to the sequel because I like the brother.
I do.
I think every single one of them is going to be one of the brothers.
That makes sense. I like both the brothers, and he even said that like this brother is like a bit more unhinged. So maybe this is where we lean into making the smut also bonkers.
Great. Love it.
And we know the best friend is for sure unhinged because she's not even the one doing the murdering. She's the one on the phone listening to her best friend murder. So that's weirder.
The whole thing is going to be her doing her first kill and then having sex right next to them.
That's what I thought this one would be. And I don't want to say that that's what I wanted, because that makes me sound like I'm like them, but that's what I wanted for the genre.
For them. Yes, absolutely. Started on ebook and finished it on audio, like the audiobook, but the background noise threw me off a bit. That's true. I had to actually slow it down to be able to get like the production value of it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's not like you.
I know.
Wow, you actually slowed down an audio.
A little bit longer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think I had it at like 1.8 or 2.2 times speed, which normally everything is like at least at 2.5.
So minimum for you.
That's usually like that's about my sweet spot because 3 times is too much for me. Unless especially I'm just like, oh my God, please let this book end.
Well, and especially if there is things other than talking, like talking you can speed up pretty naturally, but when there's anything like music or something that's like pitched, it's like,
and then he has an Irish accent, which like also adds to how great it was, because that accent is fantastic, but also like that you're like, oh, I have to, because I don't know what it is about like women that have accents do not bother me in terms of like being able to understand it, but men who have accents, I have to slow the audiobook down.
You're homo accent sexual.
Apparently.
Sorry.
My accent is homosexual.
You're listening.
Instagram is crazy. It kept saying upcoming for this, even though it started like half an hour. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, welcome. I don't remember posting it on Instagram, but that is okay.
Well, it wasn't me, so.
I could have. Listen,
we know not what we do on a Saturday.
No. I had a bottle of wine last night. It's fine. Could have done it then.
Valid.
This week, I don't know what it was, but like this week felt like it was 4 weeks long.
Okay, so I almost felt the opposite, where like yesterday I woke up and I was like, it's fucking Friday? Are you joking me? I just started my work this week. But then I realized we also had the holiday.
And then also, that's fair. And then also I had like a company presentation, like a big meeting that I had to prepare for that was Friday afternoon at 2. And all week long I had it in my head that it was Thursday afternoon at 2. And then like at like 10 minutes before, I was like, why is nobody like texting me from the front office saying that the person that I'm meeting with is here? Why is my boss on another call? I look at my calendar, I was like, it's tomorrow.
At least it's better than you thought it was Thursday and it was Wednesday.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't know why in my head. Fortunately, like the people that I told that needed to be there, I did tell the correct date. Just like in my head, it was not.
Yeah, that's stressful.
Oh my gosh. Thursday afternoon, I was like, I'm an idiot. I'm such an idiot. But at least I was like prepared 24 hours early.
Yeah, there you go. Silver linings to your stress.
It was great. Yeah. I was just like, oh, I've been stressing about this when I didn't need to be.
Oh,
so
man.
Anyway, so anything specific you would like to talk about before we get completely unhinged?
We already kind of talked about the smut, didn't we?
We did, but if you want to go into more detail, we can.
No, I think
I'm just glad there wasn't a lot of it.
Yes.
Oh, that's the thing. I think I like, just on a general note, I think that the sex would have been, or the smut would have been better if it was written from her perspective, because the second smut scene was not as bad because it's from hers, but because she's kind of been this dominant, like badass woman, and then the first smut scene is from his perspective and him trying to be dominant. It didn't come off natural.
It also didn't come off as like super, and I have a bias just because of how I guess I enjoy stuff, but I was just like, this idea of you just holding it in her for that long and you're so convinced that she's so into that. Like, I'm not.
I promise you,
I'm not gonna buy that from your point of view, okay? Like,
right? Maybe yeah. Like, I think like I don't know. I just feel like I would have bought the whole scene if she would have been the one telling me about it.
Right? Yeah. And there was something about just like, yep, I've been hard in her for this long now, and I'm like, she might be tired of that.
She might not be happy. You should check in.
Yeah, you should just be like, hey, are you chafing down there? Stuff. How's it going? Are you getting a little stretched out? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. But outside of the bedroom, I think that his character was so well done.
Yeah.
Because we talked about it during Sprint when we were like, oh, he's kind of starting to get this possessive nature to him. Like, he would go back and forth from being this absolute golden retriever that's just like checking, making sure she gets back to the hotel room. And then he kind of gets possessive and is like, okay, baby, you went a little too far. But like the way that she wrote it was so perfectly done. I think it could have gone wrong in so many different directions. And there's a lot to say about an author's talent that they can ride that line so well.
I think with the ending too, can we spoil stuff yet?
I put spoilers, yes.
Okay, right. That's literally right in front of my face. Okay. I think with the ending too, of like, he was forced to kind of push her away for her own protection, but he did lay the groundwork and clues. So it was like, I'm doing this because I don't want you to imminently get hurt and be blindsided, but I am laying the clues because I trust you to be like smart enough to like come save me. I thought that was the perfect balance for these two characters.
It was brilliant because he still like, he trusted her to be like independent and like be like, she can take care of herself, but I also like don't want to, I care about her enough that like,
I'm not going to leave her.
I don't want to be the one that could make you get hurt.
Yeah. Like, what? I don't know. I'm going to get cheese grated. Like, shit.
No, thank you. Is it weird of me? Like, okay, I don't know what this says about me as a person, but I actually didn't think that the like horror elements of it were that bad.
I think the author was smart in that we learned why the people were like, they're bad people.
Right.
I think it's the same as watching Dexter, is where you're like, ugh. But like, you're at the end of the day, you're like, yeah, that's okay though, because they never cross the line ever into hurting anyone that doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
And
but even just like the actual like the description of the gore, and I don't know if it's just because we still kept it a very like light tone.
Yes.
It wasn't ever like, we never got into this like scary moment. It was never like horror.
I agree.
It was Dexter level gore.
Yeah, I think the best comparison is Dexter, where it's like, yeah, there's some icky moments and you're like, oh, what the fuck, but it's mostly like,
yeah, there was a lot of what the fuck moments. I mean, like, like the trigger warning has cannibalism,
but I was never unsettled.
Right. The accidental cannibalism scene was really well done, and I think it was funny because like, I feel like she put that scene in specifically for the TikTok marketing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what other book has accidental cannibalism as a trigger warning?
And just like the whole like, God, what is her name? Sloane knowing and like being like,
don't do it. Don't do it.
Right, so you know what I mean? So it's not like,
there's like a comedy of errors almost.
Yes, where she's like,
yeah.
And then like, I literally had to pull somebody's ass out of your mouth. Like, great. So I thought she could have written it in a way that would have been like so unpleasant for the reader, but she towed that line really well.
And I feel like that's hard to do in this like
genre. Not easy.
No. I mean, because this is essentially a genre blend.
Yes.
And it's not a genre blend that's, normally done.
Yeah, like romance and comedy, super easy to put together. Romance and thriller, super easy to put together. But like a romance, comedy, horror, serial killer novel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and, like there are serial killer romances, but they always go so dark.
They're not usually
like
a comedy.
Sophie Lark, like she has a very dark serial killer romance. It's basically If You by Carolyn Kepnes, like if they thought that the stalking was hot.
And see, if this had been like that, I would not have enjoyed it.
I don't think so. Yeah. But this was just, it was, I don't know, it was refreshing.
Yeah, this was like, at the end of the day, it was like, oh, look at these two little pookies killing people who are bad competitively and flirting. Oh, babies.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Exactly.
What?
But yeah, those were my thoughts. I don't have a ton of thoughts on this book, but like,
No, I
it's
mean,
just we could talk about how fun it is. Like that's
that's
this book isn't
really
supposed to have a lot of commentary on it.
it's not deep, and I'm glad that it didn't go deep. Like, it didn't go. There was a moment there where I was like, is this gonna go hard into their backstory and be like, oh, anyone could be a serial killer with the right trauma? Like, I was worried that it would go there, and it didn't go there. It was like, this isn't deep. There's fucking weirdos.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, we didn't really get backstories as to why they're serial killers.
Like, we got them. They were just brushed over. He was like, I have a bad dad. And she was like,
we
I
didn't
got assaulted.
flashback chapters of like her being abused as a child, or
right, that would have been
daddy issues.
It would have taken out of it so much, you know?
It would have no longer been the comedy that really ties everything together. Like, it ties the romance and the thriller and the horror together, is making it's funny.
Exactly. Yeah. I completely agree. And this just did it perfectly. So
agreed. Anything else? Any other comments?
Really, no. I mean, yeah, I liked it. I will read the sequel.
Me too.
Yeah.
And it comes out this year, right?
Does it? Okay, let me check.
I feel like it does.
I had Goodreads open a second ago. I'm sure I haven't closed that app. June 4th.
Oh, that's not even that far.
Not at all.
All right. I'm here for that.
The third one is called Scythe and Sparrow.
Yes.
Ooh.
I kind of love the whole like the name, like you have the weapon essentially, or the
and a bird.
And a bird.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Normally I hate nicknames, but I kind of loved like her being Blackbird.
It worked with like the song, and I think the way he saw her as like this this artist, really, right? Yeah. Like, and then okay, and my stupid ass at the end there when she designed the tattoo and it was like, oh my god, like you brought the color back. I was like this wasn't supposed to make me emo at all.
Well, even my emo moment was when she walked up to the restaurant and saw the name Butcher and Blackbird, and it was just like, oh, he's so sweet.
He just loves her so much.
Like, why am I having an emo moment in this comedy?
Right, this really shouldn't have made me feel anything at all. But here I am.
Because I feel like throughout the book, you don't actually like feel any emotion for the characters. You're just like along for the ride.
You're just like, what idiots? I love it.
Cool. What what's next? What are we gonna do now? Which assassin are we taking out this time? And then at the end, you're like, oh.
But they're actually so in love. Yeah.
Anyways, I grabbed next month's book. So in March, we are definitely switching gear.
I have to buy that.
It's so pretty.
I'm gonna buy it right now.
It's much bigger than A Dowry of Blood.
So maybe we read a bit before the sprints, is what I'm hearing.
Maybe. Or we just start on sprints and the font is so huge.
Oh, then we're good.
Yeah, no, it's 345 pages, but like this is YA font.
Why can't I order it not on Kindle? Oh no, I can. Okay.
Yeah. You can't order from the app.
Paperback.
You can have a paperback, Lucky.
I love paperback. I love being able to flop my book around. I want my book to be flaccid.
We don't have dates for sprints yet, but we'll figure it out. It'll be sometime in March.
Why is it $9.92 shipping to Canada? Excuse me. Okay, I need to figure that out, but
maybe go to Indigo instead of Amazon.
Oh, because I'm not a Plum Plus member anymore.
Oh, that's sad.
I mean, I could do it if I thought it might be worth it just for book club books, because I did find that I paid better attention to this reading it physically than in the past, even books I really liked that we did on audio, and I was sitting there on sprints just trying to listen to as much of it in one day as possible. Yeah. My brain would be like, la, 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 firefighter porn, la, 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 right? So I think that it's better for me to have the physical page in front of me.
That's true. And now then you get trophies.
Yeah. trophies. Whereas like when I'm if we were reading it all off sprint and I would be like, I'll just put this on for a drive, I would
Yeah.
listen to it. But I think just like for the like 6-hour sprints of just sitting there,
Agreed.
my brain eventually glitched.
Let's
So
see. I can figure out what how long it is. Nope, that's not right.
okay, maybe I'll plum plus it for the just for the book club.
Oh yeah, it's only 8 hours and 22 minutes, which I think is actually the same
about the same length.
The same length as this one.
Do you know what other book I need to buy? And okay, fine. You know what? I'll do that for Plum Plus today too. I need to buy the last Atlas trilogy book, the Olivia Blake.
Atlas Complex? Question
Yeah.
mark?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, that's our discussion. I don't have any other thoughts about this book because I don't think it warrants a ton of discussion.
No,
but it was a good time, and we did start off the year on a good note.
Agreed.
So maybe it's only up from here.
I'm hoping that our track record
is better in 2024.
So much so. Yeah.
But anyways, thank you guys for hanging out with us, and we'll schedule sprints once we get them set up. And yeah, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.